a squatter. She pays no rent.
I'm still going to be living here.
You'll see about that. We'll see about that.
Yeah?
We'll see about that. Yeah.
Where's the rent?
Where's the rent? We'll see about that. Where's the rent?
Should I go over there right now or not? People in California have zero rent. Why are you going to court tomorrow?
Trying to evict her tomorrow. She doesn't show. We win.
And what has she done?
You're shaking.
I
Do you have the
refuse.
DTs?
Well, no, because look
Smell
at
like
you.
alcohol.
Get out of our house, please. Get lost. Come on, let's go. She's gonna phone it in.
She already phoned it in.
She thinks she could live rent free, and the state of California supports the tenant, doesn't support the landlord. In these disputes, they have so many rights. She has no lease. She has no nothing. A year and a half. No money. She has a name. She's called a squatter. She's got a brand new Mercedes. Brand new Mercedes over there.
I understand. These people are rampant everywhere. Okay?
I have the same right to have my stuff in
She has no rights to keep anything in here.
So you want to be in real estate? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is triggering for me because two of the scenarios that we're going to go over actually have happened to me. I wanted to bring this video today because the economy and the times that we're in, those of you that are property managers or homeowners or have second homes, you gotta be real careful during this time because people might be struggling, and then you have folks that, in my opinion, have no moral compass. They're thieves, straight up thieves. They come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So nobody has to worry. Every ethnicity and gender is represented in what I'm about to tell you. But you gotta beware because these squatters have more rights than you do in a lot of states. Quick story time. This was probably 2010 through 12. And we were doing property management at the time. And now this scenario, the house isn't even ours. We're just managing it for one of our clients that actually moved to Florida. Long story short, we let this very articulate lady in. Everything seemed above board, but the key, there's always something. So she was moving from California. That should have been my first sign, right? And every turn, it was just something that, oh, we don't have this, or, oh, we're here. And so if you're going to property manage, you can't have a big heart. You have to have a system. And if the potential tenant doesn't fit in the box with the steps, keep it moving. So I felt sorry for her, let her in, whole nine. Everything was going good for a period of time, and then they stopped paying the rent. So we went through the process, got them evicted on the circuit level because they broke the lease. Because she was a paralegal, and these are the ones you have to watch, the ones that are somewhat savvy, have educations. She went to the county and filed a pauper's lien and cited that basically we were bullying her. And that's how the law really is written. Whoever has the most money, or whoever's seen as the person in power, let me put it that way, that's who everything goes against, in my opinion. So anyway, this judge overturned the circuit court, all the rules, because they didn't pay the rent, and said that we were trying to evict them because of something, some BS situation. Bottom line, we, the property managers, ended up having to go to court, spending thousands of dollars to pay an attorney just for this to go away. The whole thing should have never gone to court. Now, that's for you out there that are realtors or might be property managers. You got to make sure you have thick skin and systems in place so that you don't get got by these criminals. And yeah, they're criminals. They're thieves, and they're very savvy, and they can cause a lot of problems, and they don't care. They have no shame. They have no moral compass. So stay tuned and watch the rest of this video, because if you fit in any one of those buckets that I aforementioned, you want to make sure that you're doing some of these things that we're going to bring out in the video. My name is Robert, and on this channel, my goal is to simplify the home loan process, and I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and I've been a lender for over 20 years now. And so this is what qualifies me to talk about things such as this, and give my personal experience and how to avoid, in this case, scenarios like this so you don't get got, because we're in that season. Folks are struggling, and when you're struggling, you might try something crazy like this. So let's check out this next video because this actually happened to myself and my wife back in the day.
Hello, sir. You're delusional. You cannot do anything because the police said they would investigate it within a week so they will come back to us. So as far as that, you have to leave.
Why so loud? Guys, this is a telltale sign of guilty people or scammers. They either try to intimidate you and they always are going to get loud. And so these are tales, if you will, that the body gives off when you're dealing with dishonest people. So whenever you get around loud people or they try to intimidate, these are key signs. But notice the person speaking with her keeps their calm because you want to do so. A soft answer turneth away wrath. And nowadays, with everybody in their mental health problems, I don't trust anybody, especially people like this. So be leery if you find yourself in one of these situations because you don't want to escalate it, because a lot of times people like this are looking for an excuse to take things to another level.
This woman was just sentenced to jail for her role in this squatting saga I've been covering for more than a year now. This story is wild. It has made national news and it's even resulted in a change to state law here in Florida. So last March, these women moved into a vacant rental house owned by Patty Peoples and her business partner. It was for sale at the time. Patty said they had an offer on it, so she was surprised when she found these two women living there. She ended up calling the police.
She has a signed lease and paid $3,100 for first and last month rent.
She implied she was a victim of a rental scam. So the officer does some research and he finds this suspicious.
You're being scammed for your home. This is what I believe. Now,
she's part of it.
She had claimed to be a victim of the same type of scam just months earlier from a nearby property where she had been recently evicted.
Oh no, of course, I'm not going to vacate.
But the officer says there's nothing he can do. It had to go through the civil court system to determine if they were actually victims, and that can take weeks. And the women were allowed to stay in the house, and Patty and the other owner weren't allowed inside.
Oh, okay, because once you're in my property and you're in my house,
this is not your property.
Oh, okay, I thought so.
This is not your property.
The squatters refused to leave, and as you can imagine, things got testy.
Why did you break the window?
We look like we did it on purpose. Don't say nothing to her. Bye. Do we need to call Officer Smith again? Yeah. Didn't he tell you not to come here?
When the women were finally evicted weeks later, the house was left like this. Drywall was torn out. Patty said there was feces left on the carpets. Windows were broken. She also said appliances were stolen. Months later, this woman was arrested and charged with criminal mischief and trespassing. She pleaded guilty and the judge sentenced her to 30 days in jail plus 2 years probation, 50 hours of community service, and the judge also ordered her to pay about $3,600 to the victim in restitution.
This is a horrible situation, and it happened again to my wife and myself. I had a property in another state, and someone lived in that property for a full year and had the same type of nasty attitude as these folks had. And in this case, $3,600, did you see the damage? That's nowhere near the amount of money that it's going to take to get the house prepared. So here's the deal. If you have a vacant house, these are some of the things that I think you should do. Get to know your neighbors and maybe pay one of the neighbors. You know, every neighborhood got a nosy Nancy or a Ned. And get them on your team, man. You'd be surprised what $25 or a gift certificate for coffee will do to keep people abreast of what's happening. A lot of neighborhoods now, if you let the police department know, they'll patrol. The key is this. These folks are very savvy and they're paying attention. And if something looks unoccupied, this is when you attract folks. Just like when you have the perfect environment for insects, they'll come to that source. Turn on your lights. Come by the property. This is probably a problem for a lot of folks like it was for us if you're out of state. So if you're going to be out of state, make sure you have your systems, your teams in place so that you don't just have things sitting, because it will attract the wrong people and it will cost you not only money, right? Because it's not always about money, but your peace of mind, your sleep. I remember my wife, she was just tore up about this. That's why we don't rent and deal with single family anymore. You guys can have it. So if you're in the game, or if you are a second home owner or somebody that fits in this type of situation, beware, because the times that we're in, you'll start seeing more and more of these things happening. Now, if you live in the great state of Texas, well, they done changed the rules. Y'all check this out.
Texas finally passes a new law allowing property owners to remove squatters without going to court, bypassing the eviction process effective September the 1st, 2025. Why this is not a thing nationwide, I will never know. And for those who don't know what a squatter is, I'm getting ready to go into detail. Outside of the definition of what a squatter is, people can literally just go into your home when you're on vacation and claim it as theirs. No rules, no nothing. You can't do anything. You have to jump through all these hoops just to get them out of your home. And a lot of people don't realize that this is an actual thing, and it has become a major problem lately. A squatter is a person who lives on or occupies a property without the owner's permission, legal right, or payment of rent. This can include someone who breaks into an abandoned property to live in it, or a former tenant who refuses to leave after the lease has ended. While trespassing involves entering private property with no intent to reside, squatters implies an intent to live there, sometimes for an extended period of time, which can lead to complex legal situations in some jurisdictions, even claim to ownership through adverse possession laws. Here are the two new bills if you're interested. Senate Bill 38 and Senate Bill 1333 are focused on making it easier for property owners to get their home and land back, while also increasing the consequences for those who occupy property illegally. Now, Senate Bill 38 speeds up the eviction process by requiring courts to schedule trials within 21 days after a property owner has filed a petition. It also changes the appeal system to stop squatters from dragging cases out with unnecessary appeals, which happens a lot. Now, Senate Bill 1333, I feel like that's the most important one. It gives law enforcement the power to remove squatters immediately without requiring a lengthy court process. It also raises the criminal penalties for squatters and scams involving fake property titles and fraudulent sales. You guys, it happens a lot. You really have to look this stuff up. At the same time, the bill includes safeguards to make sure legitimate tenants aren't wrongfully removed under the new rule.
So there you have it, guys. When it comes to people squatting and thinking that they could just get over on folks, but it happens. Some states are addressing the issue like Texas. Other states, you have to know what the rules are and do all you can to prepare or to try to protect your home. If it's a rental, second property, so on and so forth, it's your property and no one should be able to do that. So here are some things just to summarize for you to look at. But number one, verify ownership often, monthly if possible, especially if the house is paid off. If you have elderly folks that have homes, because there's scammers out here all the time, and it's easy to go to the county, parish, and do some of these nefarious things. Number two, monitor your vacant properties. Install cameras. Leave the utilities on. Turn a light on. As I said before, pay a neighbor to come by regularly to make it look like there's activity going on with the property, especially if you're out of state and you don't have, say, like a property manager or a realtor or somebody doing that stuff for you. Don't leave a lot of stuff laying out in the yard. Keep the grass cut. Again, these folks are looking for the environment to say, hey, nobody's here, so I can slide in and create all of this fraudulent paperwork that's easy to create today. Secure all your entry points. Make sure stuff is locked down. Make sure you have good lighting, especially around the back or places where folks can kind of slip in. Know your laws, know your local laws and the process you would have to go through to get something like this out, because it never happens at the right time. It's always a bad time. But if it happens and you're unprepared and you don't know what to do, because as you can see in some of these instances, calling the police officers and things of that nature has no effect. You have to go through a long, lengthy process. One other thing I'll say too, for a lot of you first-time investors, you got to have some money. All of this, these plays and stuff that you see online, this is what takes people under. You have to allocate or account for something like this happening, even if you've checked all the boxes. Because if you have to go through something like this, you have to be able to man the ship and not go down, because this could take you out for sure. What do you guys think? Have you ever had a situation like this with a property? If so, let me know. Let us know down in the comment section and what you did or how you overcame it. I'm real passionate about this one. If that's you out there, don't do stuff like that, because in the end, you're going to reap what you sow. I really believe that. So there you have it. If you want to get on the property ladder the right way and do so with someone that has the provenance, the heart, the corazon, and the foresight to see how things might pan out if you have to get out of a property and you like to reach out and have a conversation, my contact information is in the description below. So my time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let us be good to one another. Let us let grace abound. And until the next time, y'all know what it is. Indeed, y'all stay blessed.